All right, guys and gals. I'm Brian Littleton, host of Racelogic Chassis School. We got Cody King, a dirt car lift. He was gracious enough to get on tonight. Cody, I appreciate you coming on. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. What about yourself? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, doing well. I know it's a busy time of the year for you guys. I just kind of want to get you on and kind of talk about what y'all's doing. I know parts is a huge issue across America right now, and everybody's behind. Kind of give the viewers, we got a few jumping on right now. Kind of give everybody an idea of what you guys do and how the business started, and kind of what your role is there at Dirt Car Lift.
Yes, sir. So the business started probably about going on 6 years now. Started just from me personally needing a lift, and we put one on order. And it was like 3 or 4 months before we could get one, and so we made one, and one turned into two, and two turned into three. And then I actually left real estate 5 years ago and came and worked in the machine shop with Dean, and it kind of just blossomed from there. He was running a tool and die shop out of the same shop we have Dirt Car Lift out of. So he was like, I think this is going to be a good fit for you. You race, kind of see what you can do with it. And pretty much from there, it started as me, Dean, and Teresa, and that was it. And about 2 years ago, we actually hired our first employees. Now we got about 6 guys full time, and pretty much that's how it all started. Kind of bounce back to what you said about material. It's not so it's the same thing with material. Unfortunately, we've got behind just suppliers not being able to fly right now. You can get a little bit of it, but you're not getting into the quantity you used to could.
Cody, I mean, I think most everybody knows what lifts you make, but can you kind of give them kind of a rundown of how many lifts and what they're for, and kind of the price range and everything of y'all stuff now?
To start on with, it's the E-Series lift. It's just 18 inches tall, power up, power down, all NC machined. That starts with frame. Rail is really the easiest way to put it. So if you run
Yeah, Cody, I think we're having a little bit of still a little bit of technical difficulties there, maybe where you're at. I'm not sure. Are you still on with me? Guys, we'll get him back on here a minute. I know he's kind of maybe in a bad area right now, so we'll let him jump back on with us real quick. I think he's doing it from his car, and we'll see if we can get him back on. He's jumping back on now. But anyway, that's Cody King with Dirt Car Lift. I met him about probably 4 years ago at a class. Dean, the actual owner, came down and met Dean, and man, what a great guy he was. And he's been a big supporter of Racelogic and does a great job and builds the nicest lift on the market, no doubt. And he helps a lot of racers, and them guys are good. I mean, they just do a good job and got a beautiful lift. Let's try this one more time. You back with me there, Cody?
There we go. I'm not sure what happened.
But that's all right. That's
so pretty much the Eco Series is going to be for any of your cars without a raised right front rail. 4,500 pound lifting capacity. And then you got your X Series, which is more catered towards your cars with raised right front rails, your late models, select modifieds. And really the main difference is the X Series comes with a riser package to compensate for the raised right front rail, and the Eco does not. You can get the Eco we actually just had a slight price increase, and the Eco is $22.25, and the X Series is $31.25. Obviously, anybody who attends you guys' class or anything like that, or even mentions Racelogic gets the little discount. So definitely keep that in mind for anyone listening.
Okay. I know there's several places that guys can buy them. I mean, I'm assuming you guys like for everybody to go through the dealers. I'm assuming. Can you kind of, I mean, I know Performance Bodies is one of y'all's biggest dealers. Who's some other dealers across the country they can buy them from?
Yes, so Performance is going to be obviously our biggest dealer. We do purchase direct, and honestly, at this point, I'd be, I could name a couple of them, but then I'm going to have all the rest of them hollering at me that I didn't mention.
Right.
Honestly, the best bet is to go online. If you're looking to purchase one, go online, check out the website. We have a list of all of our dealers, all the states. We highly recommend, and we even push our customers to, if a customer calls from, Alabama, I'll push him to Cale Finley in Alabama. So anybody that definitely purchase from your dealer that's closest to you, because our pricing is across the board. You're not going to find anyone selling it any cheaper than we sell it, or Performance sells it, or any of our dealers.
Right. And guys out there, if you got any questions for Cody, this is the time to do it. I mean, he's a busy guy, and he took about 15 minutes here out of his time this weekend to talk about the lifts. I know I get a lot of questions and people calling me about them and wanting to buy you guys' lift. And I met Dean several years ago at a class, and he was gracious enough, like I said earlier, while you was off air there, to come to a class, and he's gave away stuff. Man, he's just been a big supporter of me and what I'm doing, and he's a big supporter of racing across the country. And I know you go with him most of the time and kind of run that end of it. But I think you was breaking up a little bit earlier. Tell everybody about the parts shortage right now. I know that's a bad thing. I mean, it don't matter what industry you're in right now. It's terrible right now.
Yeah, pretty much any manufacturing, and at this point, pretty much everything. I mean, kind of like I was saying, I seen something earlier where they said there was a chicken shortage. It's like,
That's true. I'm in the food industry. I mean, that's honest to God truth.
It's like, who would have thought the day you seen when there was a chicken shortage? But pretty much anybody in manufacturing, it's not really that you can't really point fingers, but just kind of an examples we have are pumps. Obviously, that's manufacturing. Well, they're having problems getting material. Therefore, that's delayed. The cylinders, same thing. They're having problems getting material. So therefore, that's delayed. And ultimately, it just runs down the chain until it gets to us, and we just have to pass it off, all the way up until January. You could call and order a lift at any given time and have it to your door, or at least shipped out within 2 days. Right now, we're about 3 weeks behind. We're hoping that all that clears up, but you don't really know. So it's kind of just, and don't mistake me. It's not that we don't have any material. We just can't get near as much as we could. Let's say even January 1. It's becoming harder and harder. The mills, they're only releasing so much material to their vendors, and therefore the vendors got to turn right back around and only release certain amounts to all their customers. So it just comes down the line, and unfortunately, it's kind of just a sign of the times.
Yeah. Roy, which is he's a viewer, and he said that they're having major shortage on tanker truck drivers to haul fuel. So a lot of your fuel shortages, it's not because there ain't no fuels, because they can't get anybody to haul it anywhere. And you was laughing about the chicken. And honest to God, that's the truth. I mean, chicken wings it's everything, and most people understand, especially in the racing industry right now, that man, it's just hard. I think metal is one of the biggest things right now that people, whatever, stainless steel, any of it, is hard to get. And I knew you guys were 2 or 3 weeks behind, but I'm assuming business is still going stronger than ever right now.
It is. We actually took a large growth spurt, pretty much right when Corona started, and pretty much everybody I've talked to in the industry kind of did the same thing. But we took a big growth spurt right when the whole coronavirus started, and from there it's just been the business is going up and the supply is coming down, and kind of like you said, there's not really much we can do about it. We can only raise so much cane with people before they're like, there's nothing we can do about it either. So right now it's nothing anybody can do about it really, except sit tight.
Right. Do you guys have anything new in the works? Any kind of new lifts out there that y'all's working on? Anything that's out there?
We're not. Wouldn't say we have. I mean, we're always trying to innovate and come up with the next idea. Which one we're going to release. So I'm not going to say that we don't have something in the works. But as far as anything releasing in the next year or so, not so much. We are going to release a couple. I guess you could call them additions, add-ons to the lift. That couple things in the works that I think everybody's gonna like when we do release it. But as far as like new lifts go, not so much. Something we are venturing into is the asphalt side of things. I'm going asphalt racing this year, and that's kind of a virgin market, to be honest with you. So I'm very excited about getting in. You know, those guys, they still swear by jacks and jack stands, and I think they're going to be amazed when you can mash a button and no effort.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Uh, and we all know that there's a lot of knockoffs out there to y'all's products, and that's something that's kind of my pet peeve that I see in the market with a lot of different people that support me. And kind of tell us what separates you guys from some of the other knockoffs that's try to copy what y'all do.
Well, I mean, the obvious, we're CNC machine. There's no, I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna say there's no room for failure, but a lot less than a chop saw and a welder. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Chop saw and a welder, you have weak points everywhere where there's a weld. With CNC machining, you have solid stock milled out. We actually had Dean. Dean, when we first started this deal, had a boy that worked with him, actually named Cody, that was a Georgia graduate, and we were able to send off all of our lifts and have them tested and analyzed at UGA. So there's a lot more than just, hey, let's drill these holes right here and call it a lift. It's a lot of thought that goes into anything. You know, when we release a lift, we go through the whole process of testing, under multiple circumstances, stress analysis on the lifts themselves. And then you get to the hydraulic part of it, where a lot of these guys out here, and this is something I strongly recommend everyone, before they pull the trigger on anything, ask the right questions. And the right questions are, what PSI is your pump? Some of these pumps, I wouldn't even say some, I would say most of these pumps out here can barely lift 2,300 pounds for what they're, the PSI they're pushing out. Whereas all of our hydraulics are way overkill. I say that, and in the same sentence say there's no such thing as overkill when it comes to safety. Our pump's rated for double what it should be to lift a 2,300 pound car. Our hydraulic lines are double shielded. No cheap. You're not going to have line failure. Pretty much the only way this lift's coming down on you is if somebody comes by and chops both of your lines at the same time. It's like I tell people, if somebody does that, you got a lot bigger problems than the lift.
Sure. Right.
So, but that's the main thing is ask about the hydraulics. We've used sweet cylinders since we started. Obviously, everyone knows they're second to none. Everything that goes into our lifts, there's no money saved on our end. Obviously, that has to reflect in our price. But it's like I tell people, you go spend your bare minimum racer's going to spend, $20,000-$30,000 a year. Then you take your family out there, you take your friends, and you get them under this junk. Is it really worth saving at max $1,000 to take the chance of hurting your crew, your family, God forbid, anybody? So there's just a lot more. We're not doing this on the weekends. We're not doing this on the side. We're a full-blown operation. We got 5 pieces of machinery and just ordered a new one that run 40 plus hours a week, every week for the last 5 years. So this is what we do. We take time to learn, just put more than, hey, let's build a lift and sell it to our friends type mentality behind it. A lot more than that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the other lifts at different shows and in different places, and I'm not going to knock them, but I guess what bothers me is somebody outsider looking in is, Dean put in all the work originally on this deal, and then I get it. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery, and I think my biggest deal is, like you said, is the safety aspects. I've seen a few of them that I wouldn't pick my go-kart up with. It scared me looking at them, and I was like, man, there's somebody gonna get hurt on that thing. That's the last thing you want to do is be underneath the car and it fail and fall on top of you, and it's going to happen at some point. Some of them others out there is definitely going. I'm afraid somebody's going to get hurt on them. So, I'm not necessarily here to push your product, but I mean, it don't take rocket scientists to look at what y'all's building versus some of the other ones out there and see the difference in quality for sure. And with quality, there's naturally a dollar amount goes with that, but
There.
what's your life worth, or what's your kid's life, or whoever's going to be under the car changing transmission or whatever it may be that day, tire. So I agree with you. You definitely need to be looking at at the quality aspect of it out there. It just, I've had a couple other guys on, like I told you when we started, that build different products, and then so many people go out there and try to copy them and do their own deal, and you know, uh, it just bothers me because I've been in that same boat to where I've had people try to copy what I do, but I just keep doing what I'm doing, and y'all, I know, keep doing what you do, and I think the work speaks for itself. I mean, you got everybody from Scott Blomqvist to Billy Moyer to every racer in America on y'all's lift, so they can get any lift they want. So when they're buying your lift, there's a reason. Who's some of the other? I know Jonathan Davenport's got them. Who's some other big names? Probably Tim McCready, I'm sure.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think the easiest way to do it is really about the only big name tour driver that's not on it is the one car. Pretty much any of your other ones, Tyler Erb, Strickler, pretty much all your other guys. I don't know why the one car hasn't jumped on board, but they like their lift they have. They've had it forever, and it's. I guess that's probably the easiest way to do it, is to say that he's really about the only one on the tour that doesn't have one.
Right. Yeah, and I know we get this. I've had this question a lot when Dean's came in our stock car class. A lot of people's worried, well, will it pick up a heavy stock car? And Dean's like, absolutely. I think you mentioned that earlier. I mean, it'll kind of what's the capacity on some of them for some of the heavier cars?
So both the X Series and the Eco, we actually limit them at 4,500 pounds. Okay. So all of our products are good to 4,500. And like I said, we actually limited them there. And that all goes back to the hydraulic pump that's way bigger than it should be for the application. But like I said before, no such thing is overkill on safety.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you guys want to try to get the PRI again this year and some other things. Hopefully all that'll open back up.
Yes, sir. So we're hoping, obviously, for PRI. We are going to go back to the car show. That was an amazing show.
Sure was.
Kind of popped up out of nowhere and turned out to be something that was awesome. So we're going to go back there. We'll try to hit a couple of the crown jewels. Not really quite sure which ones yet, but we will try to hit a couple of the crown jewels. I'm not sure. I hadn't heard if they're doing Gateway or not, which chances are probably not if nobody's heard of it. But we always like to try to get out to that when they do it. But yeah, PRI car shows really the main ones that's on the focus right now.
Right. And I know, like I said, Dean's came. He tries to come to one or two of my classes a year when he can make it. We had a Crate Lake model class this year, and he came and talked to a lot of guys there. I just know that you guys build such a good product and just down there people, and man, just built something from nothing and grew to where it's at today. It's that says a lot. Without the big backing and all some of the big corporations, Dean kind of started this and had an ideal and hired you, and it's just took off from there.
As it has, it's been, as we joke around all. At some points, you would think out there, just both are so about it. We enjoy what we do. It's in racing. I mean, any racer, that's their dream, is to do something. Man, we have a blast, and it's like I tell everybody, they get to talk about the prices, and they're like, oh, that's high. Nobody's over here getting rich. We're doing what we love, with very expensive equipment, and it don't get me, we're not scrounging pennies, but nobody's over here getting rich. We make absolute blast doing it and enjoy. I think that actually I would put of the business is everyone who calls. We take time with them. It's not, hey, what do you want? Okay, bye. I feel like I have a very good interaction with all our, I've nested and I never lost them to any other lift manufacturer. And as we are right now, that is a strong thing. very strong statement.
Right.
And we love what we do. We have
Jesse Gibson there. He came to my stock car class, and he said he just bought one of y'all's lifts and can't wait to use it. So, there's another story, and I know a lot of people who came through what I do ended up with a lift at some point or another, and they all love them. So, definitely a good product. Cody, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, just had a certain question or wanted, what's the best way? Do you have a phone number there at the shop or some way that they can contact you?
Yeah, so best way is going to be either Facebook or just call the shop at 770-898-3907. And we can get you squared away. Any questions you got, anything you want to know, if you want to talk about your weekend racing, whatever you want to talk about, we're always down to, to chat and answer questions.
Well, that's good. Hopefully things will kind of normalize here in the next, I don't know. I don't think anybody's got a date, but hopefully the next few months, things will get back some kind of normal and where we can, get things when we need them and how we need them. But I know it's going to be a struggle over the next few months. That's why I try to get some of you manufacturers on just to kind of talk, about shortages and what, time frame it is to get any parts right now. So that's good. I guess I'll throw in a couple more, see if anybody else got any questions. We got several viewers on right now. What's probably y'all's number one seller, Cody? What do you say your best seller is?
Well, that's kind of hard to say. So when we started, obviously it started in the Southeast, and we took off in the late model world with the X Series. As time has gone and it's gotten farther out west and up north, that seems to be more of your ecos, your modifieds, your street stocks. So sorry about that. I would almost say right now at this given moment, our ecos probably our best seller. But like I said, I think it's more because we finally reached the West Coast as far as, we have pretty regular orders coming in from California, Oregon, and obviously late models up and out that way are fewer and far between than they are down south.
Right. Well, Cody, I won't keep you on a whole lot longer. I just wanted to bring you guys on. Like I said, Dean's always been a big supporter of what I do, and I know you're kind of the face of it. Dean, Dean's like me; he's got a face for radio. So when I asked him to come on, he sent you on. But great guy, and as well as yourself, and big supporter of Racelogic and what I'm trying to do. And it's always good to catch up with you guys, and just keep working hard. And like I said, anybody got any question, be sure and call Cody and talk with him, and just expect a few weeks delay right now on getting some lifts, but they're definitely working hard and trying to get out as many as you can right now, like everybody else in the country. Well, Cody, listen, I appreciate your time coming on with me. I know it's you had something going on last week and you was able to jump on tonight. I know you got a wife and kid at home, so appreciate you coming on, and we may get you on later on in the season, see how everything's going, see if parts has picked up a little bit where y'all can even build more of them. But thanks for coming on, and anybody out there viewing wants to look at a lift, be sure and give Cody a call at Dirt Car Lift, and he'll be glad to take care of you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate having me.
All right, Cody, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.